So, John, I hope we helped you out with that.
Yeah, you did. I just have to, I think I got that one person through the stump and stumble. The next one I ran into, I had to do it over the phone because they couldn't get into their internet, and I had to talk them through doing some net SH resets and whatever. So that's weird. Why would that just pop up? No. Who knows?
All right, next question, new direction.
Well, I have a real strange question for you, Sanford.
Okay,
How do you get the background behind you? I'm sure you're not out in the beautiful
sunset.
sunset like
Yeah,
that.
and the sun actually just stopped, and the sunset is just frozen. For the whole meeting tonight, it's the sun, the Earth's not turning. It stopped. Okay.
It is frozen. I understand that out there, but
Okay, so to do that, if you go down to where you have the video camera,
yeah.
okay, there's an up caret. You hit the up caret, and you should see choose virtual background.
Yeah.
From the video camera.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Choose video virtual background. Click on that one.
Yep.
And a new dialog box will show up. Now, you'll have possibly have some pictures displayed, but probably not. So
I have none.
You need to add pictures to that. So
Sure.
you'd hit the plus button on the right-hand side where it says, and you hover over it, it says add image or video.
Yes.
All right, if you click on that, it's going to open up a dialog box it's going to ask you, do you want add image or video? So click on image.
Okay.
And then you need to find a folder on your hard drive that has the particular image you want. Select the image and click open, and it will take that image and plug it into that spot and make it available. So then you choose whichever image you want.
The check mark will tell you what image you're on that you choose.
Okay. Well, I'll have to find it. I know the one I want to put in there, but I don't know where it's at.
The other thing is I have trouble. It goes all chroma and all different weird things because I have such a diverse background. And I explained one time how I made this. Bear with me here. Shower curtain.
Yeah, green screen.
Yes. I put it on like I have a projection screen. When I put that on,
And that helps a lot.
And it doesn't have to be green, but it could be any color. It helps if it's green because green works the best.
now if I do it like that, I go at it again. I'll say no green screen. We'll do it better.
Tom, your difficulty is you don't have a monochrome background behind you.
Yeah, right.
Like that.
So-
See how it's all crappy?
Let me show you. I don't have a monochrome background either. I
Gotta roll it again.
Tom's may work just fine because he's,
have a very plain background though.
there you go. But you do have, I mean, you got things going on. You got the sewing machine back there. Good
Yeah.
man.
There's that's where I
Hey,
stitched.
Sanford,
Yes.
you know, I kind of wonder if it's depends on the kind of camera you have. Because
So I didn't hear any
I
comments.
have-
Actually, no. Sometimes it's not the camera, it's the computer you have and its
Video.
hardware configuration. I've got lots of different machines, and the background that you're talking about works great on some machines, it works terrible on others, and it just flat out will not work on others. This is one machine that it doesn't work on. Anything you can do about it. The green screen, if you got it, might work. But as is, with this machine, there's no way it's going to work.
Now there's
Is-
also
is
there's a new feature that showed up, I think, in version 5.1, where you can choose a virtual background that's built in called blur. and you just blur your background. And
That's
that might
nice.
work for almost anybody.
I haven't looked into that yet. I know what you're talking about.
And that seems to be okay, although it will kind of take up video bandwidth so
Well,
that your face, if you move, is going to kind of blur also.
well, you also have that with the virtual backgrounds. They take up extra bandwidth, and as you move your head around, that it goes a little goofy around you.
Yeah, but it seems to be worse with the blur feature for me.
I've got the blur turned on.
So now you know how to do this, Tom. Tom, you could putz around with this while we're having our meeting tonight.
Well, I'm doing it already.
Okay, you just got to go find that picture or find a picture and start experimenting with pictures and seeing what's going to work.
Well, we'll find something. If it doesn't bother you guys too much, I don't think you're seeing anything at your end.
Not yet.
Not yet. You'll see it just when we do too.
Okay.
It changes on your screen view of yourself.
Yeah,
Under
it's-
background, I got this under backgrounds and filters.
I like that.
You know,
I think you have to have an account in order to get the filters.
Okay. Well, I do have an account because I host Zoom meetings every month for an hour and a half or so with my brothers across the country and it's Costa Rica.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
they give you extra stuff.
Huh?
They give you extra stuff.
Yeah,
I think you look better the other way.
I think so. Like the glasses, cool specs.
Oh. Okay.
enough of that.
Okay, enough with that. Shall we move on to the next
Sure.
question of the evening? Now we address Tom. I'm gonna mute you. All right, and then next person has the next question. Was that Jerry? Did you have a question?
I've got one coming up.
I got
and
one. Okay,
I was going to bring it up. I've seen a lot of advertisements for NAS boxes. Okay, but I don't know that there's software with them.
what do you mean that runs them?
Yeah,
Well, it's not, it's gonna run the software that comes with them, if you will, it's probably baked into it.
let me do.
Are you saying a NAS without any hard drives,
Yeah,
like a Synology or something?
let me see if I can find something. I'll bring it
In a
up.
lot of cases, it's built into the hardware itself.
Yeah, almost all the NASs utilize a specialized version of Linux. And, but usually it's very easy to attach to, and it shows up in File Explorer.
Let me see if I can find the one ad that I'm looking for. Someone can go ahead and in the meantime, I'll come back.
Bert's got his hand up.
Does anyone have
Who
a NAS
just
or
came, who just
network
came in?
attached
Who
storage
just came in,
device?
Sanford?
What's that, Jerry?
Who just came in?
Gary Nelson.
Who'd you just let in?
Who was that? I just let in.
Gary Nelson. Because he just.
He was in already.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
no,
I
he
just-
wasn't. No, he wasn't.
I just came.
Okay.
I'm being quizzed. Am I supposed to multitask tonight too?
Yes.
Okay, while Jerry's trying to figure this out, I was asking, does anyone in the group have a NAS or some kind of hard drive that's attached to their network? So we got John and we got Tim, just the two. Everyone else
Right.
uses standalone PCs and they don't share their stuff across their network. No. Okay. John, how are you doing this?
Okay, I've got two. I have an old D-Link DNS 323 or something, and it kind of had some software issues that were beyond, security issues. So I upgraded to a MyCloud EX2 rather, Ultra. MyCloud EX2 Ultra.
Is
It
that
has
Western
two, I
Digi-
put, yeah, Western Digital. It's got two 3 terabyte drives, and I just have them mirrored. So, it's gonna, if one fails, the other one's got the data. So that's about as most secure for backups. And
Okay.
it's got a gigabyte Ethernet connection, so it's pretty fast.
Okay.
It also has USB ports on the back, so I could put like a 64 or whatever thumb drive in there, and I could use that as an external storage. Now, one thing I'd like to do, and I ran into some problems this winter when I had some pictures this winter over Christmas time, I wanted to send a large video of the Zoom that I did with the kids. I had it here and they had it there, and we had 2 cameras and iPads and everything everywhere. So we had, it's only 2 locations, but we had like 4 or 5 screens. It was really nice. You could see the kids running around and jumping. If you couldn't be there, it was good. Okay, did it. It took about 20 minutes to compile and render whatever. And then I looked at it, it was too big for me to send in an email. And so I talked to my son. He has a paid Dropbox account. So there's really no limit on space, so I could upload it there. And that took care of my problem. But I couldn't send it regular because I can't remember how big it was, but it's pretty big.
Okay.
But that's how I didn't, back to the drive, I have tons and tons and tons. When I was going through, I had a Zoom meeting with my kids, and I was pulling up all these pictures because we didn't go on our snowmobile trip. So I pulled up trip pictures on the Zoom call, and it was able to pull those off, and they looked on my file manager or whatever, and they could see me going through this NAS, and here's old dad, old man dad, and they're looking down, and I got 30 folders of photos by all these different things, and they said, I had no idea you had, So it was good. It was good. I showed them. But a NAS is a good thing. It's really, I think it's good to, it has different media servers and things you can do with it. I haven't gone there yet. You can certainly do backups with it. And the thing about backups in this age, you really want to have, they talk about off-site and disconnected from your network, because if you get hit with a
virus or something else.
What's the one that takes over everything and says, we own you?
Ransomware.
Yeah. So if you don't have it attached, you could just reinstall your last backup, hopefully, and it wasn't a sleeper, But I've got I haven't gotten my New Year's resolution done yet. I got to back everything up. Anyway, that's my experience.
Yeah, and about software for NAS and how they're controlled and all of that, it's done through storage spaces in Windows 10. And Windows pretty much handles just about anything. You may need to go into device driver and update your network driver.
There are, when you log in as administrator, you have a lot of features. It's just like when you go into a router where you have all these things that you can set up. It's something similar like that. And I think it even has some backup program in it.
Yeah, so generally you don't need special software unless you're using it for a dedicated purpose.
Okay, I saw Tim, you said you're doing you have a NAS.
Yeah, it's also a Western Digital MyCloud, but it's only one of the originals with a
Single drive.
Yeah, single drive in it. And but I mean, for my needs, it works just fine. And I have it on the same network as my printers. All my printers are all on one router, along with that MyCloud. So it works. I mean, I wouldn't say I use it heavily, but I do use it some. And I don't bother with some of the computers, only certain ones that I have here that usually are running and being used on a regular basis. All the other ones, it could be added to them, but I don't run them that often. It's usually I have a particular need for one of the other machines. I know I've got an inventory and I bring that up. I do what I need to do, and that's that.
Okay, now Jerry's showing what he's got in mind.
What I got in mind, I look, it says 2 built-in, SSD slots permitted, and I'm just curious, if what is all, I don't see everything in there, is it just a blank box or?
Well, some of them come with a disc and some of them come with no discs.
Synologies they come diskless.
Yeah,
So you still have to buy drives to put in there.
Right.
okay, okay,
A lot of them do.
Preferably you want to put reds in there, like
Yes.
Western Digital Reds or something.
Yes.
You don't need speed. Your speed is really not important. It's longevity of the drive
yeah,
and what type of capacity you need for the drive. And you should have at least, the drive should be, because you're going with a 2-disc system, they should be the same size drives.
yeah,
And they should be the same type. That is, buy 2 drives simultaneously,
yeah,
whatever
They
one
should-
you're going to get.
They should be
And-
twins. They should be twins.
They should be twins. That's right.
But this particular one also indicates that it licenses each camera. And that means they have firmware or software in there that limits which camera you can use. And that's how they're going to make their money, with additional licenses for additional cameras or sources of photos. It says it's got camera licenses. That's not typical of a NAS.
Oh, correct. Because you can run cameras into this thing too. You get the right video card, whatever,
Okay,
for that.
Well,
so that's a
and-
special use.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I just happened to see this
Computer
one,
in
and I just picked it up as an example.
it's a computer inside that box, just like your router.
Yeah,
Therefore, a lot of times there are additional features you can take advantage of, but most of us don't.
but the software is already in there for, all you have to do is supply the hard drive set.
That's correct. They give you everything you need to get started for it.
Okay,
You can run Plex on that thing too, if you wanted, as a media server. Jerry, I sent out a link to a site that I used to go to for my home server stuff. And in particularly on that home server page, it's a home server show forum. There's one forum for Synology, and in particular, that particular model is listed in there, and you can read through and
yeah. I don't know if I want to go that way, but I'm just analyzing.
well, you could, as your options, you could also go to that site instead of looking at the Synology, look at other brands that are out there.
Yeah.
There's Drobo, there's QNAP.
Oh,
There's a lot of them out there that you could run. It kind of depends on what you're looking to do.
yeah,
What is your goals? I mean, what are you trying to accomplish here?
it's more backup.
Just for backup, well, you want one that's going to have a built-in backup program or
Yeah.
whatever you're going to run that backup
Yeah,
on each computer, and you'll want it to do versionings.
yeah,
But a server is a great way to address the issue of that, doing backups.
yeah,
Because you could back it up to the server, and then you back up the server to another hard drive, and you give that to one of your kids and let them hold
Yeah.
on to it. So there's your offsite.
yeah.
And then you do that like once a month or whatever you're going to set up as your procedure.
But I was just curious because I'm not real familiar, with the NAS. That's why I asked.
The group may or may not remember, I'm still running Windows Home Server version 2.
I know.
And it's still running strong in my basement. I got 24 terabytes of storage on that puppy. Yeah, John. I don't mess around. And that baby just sings. You know, it's been working just great, and I love it. It does backups automatically on every machine, including my my Windows 10 machines. And I've had to do restores. As a matter of fact, I had to do a restore about 2 months ago. I had a machine that went down, and it probably took a half hour for it to restore everything and get it pulled across the network and restore the hard drive, and boom, it was up and running. So, yeah, John.
Tom Anzalone turned us on back at the Fox Valley PC Club, and we had FreeNAS. FreeNAS takes an old computer and turns it into a NAS. We tweaked it. This is years ago. I'm sure they've come a long way, but it takes your machine and you can put a whole mess of drives in there. It doesn't have to be the same or anything.
Well,
Figure it all out.
That's a good software to use too. And my suggestion would be, if you want to make your own machine to do this, you could rededicate a PC, find one that's low power, like really low power, Centrino, they do Centrino.
Pentium 1.
Pentium, well, no, a quad core Pentium is really good. As a matter of fact, the server I got runs a quad core, but it pulls less than, it probably pulls, I think, 70 watts with all of its drives in there, spinning around. It's not a big power hungry thing. Or you can run something even smaller than that. They've got, you know, the Nooks that many people like in this group. They can work as a server easily running FreeNAS. And you just put external hard drives up to it and USB drives and let it run.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yep.
I must say a Nook can run hot.
Yeah, they can. You know, and you'll want to monitor that. For what it's doing, those servers generally just sit there and spin, you know, and they don't really do a lot of work. Unless you're going to do it as a Plex server where it's going to be ripping the stuff and converting videos for your tablet or for your other media devices that you're going to be watching. So if you use something like Plex and you have your 4K Blu-ray rip that's on the hard drive and you want to watch it on an iPad, well, you don't need the 4K, so it's going to downgrade it and then prepare the file. And that uses a lot of CPU processes and can make it run hot. Jim, was that a question? No? Okay.
And I posted web references for FreeNAS and for best backup practices on NAS is Not Enough by ZDNet.
Jerry, your other thought could be is just get a hard drive, you know, something, one of those MyClouds, and they do the same thing, don't they?
Similar, I think.
Pretty much.
And
iCloud is more for remote access.
so one of the things you'll want to do is Jerry, you'll want to try to get an idea how much hard drive space you're going to need.
And I know, I need too much. That's the only
To
problem.
assess that, well, it's not a problem. It's kind of easy to do. Is first thing is you want to figure out how many computers you're going to be backing up to it, and what is their footprint on each one of them. That is to say, you might have a 500 gig hard drive, but you only got 100 gig of stuff on there. It's going to back up to 100 gigs. So add that 100 to each whatever machine that you have on there, and that'll give you a basis. And then I would multiply that out by maybe 5 or something like that, and I pull the number out of the air, because you're going to have it do backups all the time. And is it going to do a complete image or just incrementals? Incrementals take up less space.
Yeah.
And the
differential.
NAS, I'm sorry,
I cut in, but I was incremental differential and full, right?
right. Those are the 3 types of backups you can do. Maybe John, why don't you elaborate a little bit on there?
Okay, well, I'll tell you, when you have an incremental backup, if you have a problem, you got to start with backup 1, backup 2, backup 3, backup 4, because it only takes the newer ones. And differential is more kind of like, since your full backup, what has changed, and it's like the next one's bigger, right? And a differential.
Well,
It looks at the last big backup and then goes like from that and it goes on. Is that how that is figured out?
you have,
Differential.
let's say that once a month you do a full backup of your drive, whatever it is.
Right.
Then on a daily basis, you would do an incremental or a differential. Now, let's say that on day 28, everything craps out. You have to reinstall the last full backup, and then you either have 27 incremental backups to apply also in consecutive order, or one differential file. So I'll take differential any day over incremental.
So what's your cycle, parent, grandparent, or whatever? How often do you go around?
Usually on most machines, I'll only do grandfather, father, son, which is 3 backups before I recycle. But on the machine that I happen to be on right now, which is kind of a project for me. It's not a production type machine. It's very old. We're talking like 2008 or 9 at the youngest age. It's got 2 small drives in it, with each one having a different version of Windows 10, and each one having 4 different versions of Linux. So I got 10 operating systems on this little box here, and I can only either run it with 2 high-speed sticks for 4 gigs of memory, or 2 sticks of slightly slower memory that gives me 8 gigs. Depends on how I feel. But generally speaking, I had a problem with this, and I fortunately was able to, I hadn't touched it in years, by the way. I found my old backup, I restored it, and I built it back up almost from the ground up. And but it was a lot easier than trying to do a clean install and do it all that way, because of the fact that I had dual drives in here. One's solid state, one's a spinning drive.
Just so you know, I think in March, APCUG on probably on a Wednesday, like 11 o'clock, what one, I do not know yet. They were talking about it. They're going to have a session on backups.
Yeah, and there's they also have Linux workshops for those who want to play with Linux. I play with it more than I take it real seriously, but I've been able to do some greater things with Linux over the years. And in '95, when I first got introduced to Linux, that was a nightmare trying to get it installed and working. And over the time, you constantly saw better and better improvements. Right now, I'm real enamored with a version by Linux FX out of Brazil called Windows FX. It looks just like and acts like Windows 10, and there is no Windows 10 there.
Yeah, they were talking about that in the Linux one on, I think the last one where they had, I forget what you call it, but it looked like exactly Windows 10.
Yes, it does. And it acts like it. I can run Zoom. I can run Teams on it. I even got a hold of the developmental version of Edge Chrome and it's running on it, which
I'm not-
just floored me.
I'm not sure if all the videos are up on YouTube yet. It was a 4 or 5 week session that they did on Linux
Yeah, there's
and on APCUG.
I have the original 4, and the 5th one finally came out too. But offhand, I think in the month of February here, they're not going to have the workshop. If there's enough interest in APCUG groups for Macintosh, they're going to try and put a Mac workshop together also.
I'm going to cover a bunch of this at the end of the meeting on what's coming up in APCUG.
Now, when it comes to Linux, there are those of us who have a different point of view. I like my Linux to be very different from Windows 10. Windows 10, I don't mind, but Windows 8, the developer preview, I absolutely hated because of the dual interface and that you had to use the dual interface. And that was when I decided the simplicity, the stark simplicity, the pre-Windows XP simplicity of the standard, the then standard Ubuntu desktop or the Fedora desktop, which can be a very simple one called XFCE. I like the fact that Linux doesn't pretend to be Windows.
Well,
It doesn't have to.
actually, it also pretends in some versions to be a Macintosh. And the third option is its own unique desktops.
Right.
Mate is GNOME 2 for those who didn't like GNOME 3, which is the current one used in Ubuntu. It's just a case of taste. That's why there's about 600 different versions out there.
Well, there's also functionality because Ubuntu, not to get too technical, but it went with a graphics scheme called Wayland, which is not ready for prime time yet. And so the old Unity was based on something called Xorg, X11. And that is proven. It's tough as nails. You can't kill it. Well, I mean, you can, but it's hard. Whereas Wayland, so much doesn't work with it yet. So we're going back to more relevant stuff, Sanderford says.
Why?
Stuff that's more Windows oriented.
No, it's, we deviated off the subject because we were talking to NAS and, you know.
We
And I
went
went-
from NAS to Linux. Okay.
Right, and let's circle back. Hey, Lee Lannert just joined us, and I think if I remember, Lee, you have a server running at home, do you not? You need to unmute yourself, Lee. There you go.
Hi, good evening. Yes, I do.
Explain, what do you have?
I used to have a NAS server. Forgot the name of the software I was using, but I converted to a Windows server because it's just some easy video streaming.
Okay, so what are you using now?
Windows.
Oh, just
Windows.
Windows 10
Yeah, Windows 10 with a FTP server client.
with an
or-
oh, you have an FTP server.
Yeah,
So you have a separate device
that and now a Plex server on it too.
and you're running Plex on top of that.
Correct.
Okay. And what is the hardware? Windows 10?
Yeah, Windows 10 Pro and on a simple AMD PC.
On an AMD PC, and then it's connected. How many drives do you have on that box?
One 14 terabyte drive.
There you go. Another guy that goes small. I like the small.
Oh, you don't run out as fast.
No, you don't run out as fast. You know, I got 24. I'm ahead of you.
I always bought a
But then
16.
again, you know, if you only got one drive in there, you're not duplicating across the drives.
No.
Okay.
No,
And
that's
how
the
much
next-
space
that's
you
the next
got left
drive.
on this 14?
Oh, probably about 5.
Oh, okay. All right, Jerry, how have you figured out how much hard drive space you're going to need?
Not yet.
Okay, are you going to be putting your movie collection on there, your photos,
It's just everything.
everything? Well, let me tell you, it's a monumental task to put
I
everything
know.
on there.
I know that.
And I am still working on putting everything on there and,
I know.
but
I may just go, I just may go to external hard drives. I don't know yet.
it's so rewarding to go through. You get to revisit your photos and your documents.
Yeah.
And then you get to sort stuff out, and it helps you frame stuff in your mind or on a hard drive, what's important, what's not. You know, it's not just tax returns we're keeping these days, it's
I know.
everything else. So, anyways, we kind of deviated here. I were
I
not.
know.
Lee, thank you for chiming in on that server you got running, the FTP server.
Yes, thank you for the.
Has anyone else got any questions in regards to doing like a server at home or a network attached storage device? Is there an interest in doing these?
Who's got it? Who's got it and who would do a demo? That's the thing.
Well, the other
Setting
thing
it up.
is servers nowadays are real easy to set up compared to what they used to be just 5 years ago.
Yeah, I bought a QNAP 5 years ago. I never really got it working. It had 4 bays and I gave up. So it's just sitting there as a doorstop right now.
Yeah, I've got an NT4.0 server set up, but I haven't had that on for, I don't know, a couple of years.
Okay,
And
I
you mean, oh, running NT?
Yeah,
Okay,
but I haven't, it's running on what? I think a 386 or something like that. I mean, it's
Wow.
old. It's old.
that's old.
Yeah,
I got some newer stuff you can have, Jerry.
I know. Maybe it's a little newer than that. I'm not sure, but I haven't run it in a long time.
CPU. I've got some Pentium 4s. You can have them complete boards, working system with Windows 7. That's as high as the old stuff will go.
Now, what this was is the old CCS website that I kept on there.
All right, is there any other last questions for the evening?
well, I have one statement for you. I'm currently drowning.
I see that. And you
Okay.
lost part of your hair too.
Well, what can I say? You know, I had a haircut, but it's there.
Are you
Uh,
fishing out there for sailfish?
well, no, I think there's a bird somewhere behind me. You just don't see it. But my head's probably in the way, and that's probably where the hair's gone. But yeah, what can I say? I know that it's focused real well in the picture, but not on me. It focused nicely in the background on the picture, but not on me. So
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know.
that's because you have stuff going on back there. If you had a more monochrome background.
It is a monochrome background. I took the picture off the wall and I rotated the monitor here. So you see that that's where it was.
Okay, my bad. I don't know why. Anyone have a suggestion why he's being edited?
Did he dye his hair green for a green background?
I'm just a flat-headed guy. I don't know.
Oh, there it is. It's your hair matches the same color as your wall.
That
Well-
might be it. Yeah.
You give me about 30 seconds, I'll show you the same thing with a different picture, but it's a dark picture.
But no, your wall has got the
Wall is
like a
white, so your hair is white, so
Right.
it's confused. It doesn't distinguish.
He was having the same problem with his roof.
Before or
Well,
after he shoveled the snow off.
Well, here, give me a second, fellas, and I'll show you the other picture.
You could put a hat on and then we'll see the wall.
Well, you don't
See,
need to
right.
see the wall. I'll fix it for you real quick. I'll change the picture. How's that?
Yeah, that's what your roof.
There
is
you
called.
go.
Of
Your
course,
roof-
now you can't see the bug coming down at me. Of
No,
course,
looks-
it's hard to
looks
see
fine.
anyhow.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right there. I'm gonna grab it.
Oh, there you go. I see that.
He's in your
Hey.
head.
You have to, yes, it's just about on my shoulder. It's a giant metal bug. The picture's much better than I am, but what can I say? The top of my head's cut off and it phases out my ears and stuff too. So it focuses nicely on the picture, but not on me.
Yeah.
So my camera on the laptop is focusing real well on the quality picture, but not on the quality face.
Well, I guess you're not quality. I don't know.
Well, lack of quality. What can I say?
Yeah,
Black and
low,
white.
low res.
But
Blur
Tom,
filter.
you figured we see that you figured out how to find a picture and put it into your virtual background.
Yeah, and one thing I've done, I've been listening to you guys while I've been searching, and I've currently got it hooked up to a 1 terabyte SSD drive.
Nice.
It should be
That's
fast.
where I put all my photographs.
Nice.
So you're talking about, you know, external drives and such, but I didn't want to interrupt you while I wasn't in the conversation.
So good. You
Yeah.
got
Hey,
you got a
Tom?
drive that you store all your photos on. That's external.
It's external. I do have an external on my, I think it's a 340 gigabyte external on my, what I'll call my mainframe, my desktop. What I'm using currently is a laptop computer.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have external drives, I presume you have duplicates of them.
Yes.
Good. Because especially
Tom?
especially SSDs can fail quite suddenly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause you are if you remember earlier, I said I had to rebuild a drive a couple
Yes,
of months ago,
I
and
heard you.
it was an SSD that crapped out on me, and there was nothing wrong with the drive. It just forgot how to work. So I I basically had to reformat it and reload everything back on there, and it worked just fine. It just forgot itself.
You know, when things get up in age, they lose their memory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could have
well,
been a bad firmware update, or it could have been that it needs a firmware update.
It was a drive that had been sitting around for months that I hadn't done anything with, and then and a system. And then when I turned on the system, I don't know, it just decided I'm out of here.
Yeah, but
Wait, John's got
It
something.
was a
John?
senior drive, right?
Yeah, John.
I heard that if they sit a long time, that they might lose their charge and just go south.
And that's what I think happened. I think just on a portion, something somewhere just went
The fat or whatever. Yeah.
right, because it wouldn't boot, but I could access the content on the drive. So I knew the drive, everything seemed like everything was there, but the boot sector got messed up.
I
So
heard Dennis's hands up.
yes, Dennis.
Well, I've got two questions now. One for Tim. Tim, just to clarify something you were talking about, the backups. To make that differential backup work, so you would do a differential each day, if I'm understanding you, and that differential would be from the last full backup to the moment in time you do it.
Yes, it's a case where whether you're doing incremental or differential, differential is a file of changes that grows over time. If you took a piece of software as an example and changed it 2 days after you did the full image backup, it would put that copy in the differential. Then let's say 12 days later, you uninstalled that one and installed another program. The differential will show the changes at that point in time. How often you back up with incremental and differential depends upon your circumstances. If you're a business, especially like a banking or financial system, they may back up multiple times per day. Particularly around lunchtime, they may back up in it as well as the end of day. It's something that they need to do because they have such constant ongoing changes internally and externally going on.
But that's more of a business setting.
Correct.
Right, and we're talking about a home setting. So let's keep boil this down to home settings here.
The home setting, that depends upon how much do you use your computer? How much changes do you make per day?
Or when you turn on your machine.
Well, yeah, and bottom line is for some folks, maybe they only need to do an incremental or a differential once a week and have that as their backup. The next time they do a full image backup of the drive, they blow away the incremental backups. They blow away the differential backup because they're obsolete due to the new full image that you always have to reinstall before you do the incremental or differential backup restores.
Just
But-
get a
but it-
big ass hard drive and do full backups every day.
Yeah.
And let it
And
run.
That gets
But-
a little stressful. It depends upon you and how you do it. There are some people that schedule it smartly, like if they leave their computers on in particular, before they go to bed, they schedule a backup. And when they wake up in the morning, it's all done. But it
my
also depends upon what is the horsepower of your computer that you're backing up and the speed of the external backup drive, whether it's a network NAS or a USB plugged in hard drive. Doesn't matter.
And also your network itself.
Yes.
Are you a 10/100 or you're a gigabit in your house?
Right. And
Wired or wireless? A lot of factors come into play. And Tim, we need to move on. So
Second question.
Yes.
Second question. I would just like to get, just from the group, how many people use a local, for Windows 10, just a local password versus a Microsoft account access?
I use both.
Local only.
My administrator is always local, but I use local and I use Microsoft online accounts.
we'll go around the circle here. Hey, Al Cheeks, what do you use? A local or Microsoft account? You're muted, Al.
I'm unmuted. What do we do? Local for backup?
Yeah.
I don't back up.
No, I mean, you have a local account
When you
or
log in,
Microsoft account for
I
logging
got a
in?
local account.
Wayne,
I've got a Microsoft account.
Jack,
Microsoft,
Jack's, you're muted.
with that other Jack.
The other Jack. Tom O'Connor,
Local,
local. Bob Primrick,
Local accounts only.
Jim Freeberg. Muted.
So what's the question? I lost track.
That's okay. Do you use for login to your computer or using a Microsoft Microsoft account or a local account?
I have a local account on one and I have a Microsoft account on a couple of others.
There you go. He's doing both worlds. Tom Soltis,
I got a local.
local. Aldo,
Have a local.
John,
Now I do it. Yeah. I do both, but I pretty much go with Microsoft account. I go
okay.
back.
Harry,
Local.
local.
Microsoft most of the time. I've got 2 or 3, so it depends on which one I'm on.
I think we're getting the idea here. It's kind of like most people are doing locals. I don't feel bad if I didn't call you up. I just wanted to move this along. But most people are doing locals, but some people are doing the Microsoft account. So, all right.
Okay.
Anybody else have any last questions?
I'm going to pull you.
Is there any great recovery benefit to doing the Microsoft account versus the local?
I'll tell you, if you have purchased anything, you can download the software from Microsoft and it puts it back on your machine. If you have a disaster, I've been able to do that with Word or whatever. You bought it from them. You don't need the CDs. You just download the stuff.
Yeah.
And that's through the Microsoft store and you need a Microsoft account to get on.
Also, if you don't mind the idea of cloud storage, you've got that option.
Laughing at me.
Someone's
I didn't hear that
noisy.
one.
You broke up. Joe, your mic.
Oh, it's on?
Yeah, it's on.
Hey, Tim, could you repeat?
With the Microsoft, if you don't mind the idea of cloud storage, and it really turns a lot of people off. I've used it to some extent, and anybody who hacks into Microsoft, if they want my stuff that I put up on the cloud, God bless them. I hope they get something out of it. Other than that, I don't put anything that's sensitive out there unless I've pre-encrypted it. And then I only put the encrypted version out there. So that's the way I look at it. You got to break into Microsoft's cloud first, then you got to get my files, and you'd have to decrypt the encrypted ones that have sensitive information.
All right, that's Tim's workflow. So, any other last questions for the evening?
Well, I'm
If
just
you-
looking forward to, I'm going to build a game box. My nephew wanted me to join him in a Steam game called Hell Let Loose, which is a World War II game. And it looks really interesting. And I used to play back years ago. I played Battlefield, and my GTX 550 or whatever would handle it. Boy, not anymore. Boy,
No,
I got,
you need a big ass video card and tons of RAM.
yeah, and my son, well, then you got the new those little SSD strips. It's like
Right.
10 times the speed. So then my son, a computer engineer, is telling me, "Oh, Dad, you ought to get these new AMD chips that are coming out." Of course, they're all sold out. And then I looked at the price tag, and I'm going, "Holy crap!"
You gotta pay through the nose, especially for the graphic cards. And there's a big chip shortage that is growing, not shrinking.
Yeah, it's a bad time to build it.
It is. It's a hard time to get video cards.
Yeah, well, I was looking at this, the micro or mini ATX boards and put it in a smaller box because, and with those,
No.
it'd be crazy. No, just
No.
mid tower.
You need to go
with the fan.
You're going to need to have some if you're going to do video gaming, are you going to do video gaming with a refresh rate of 120 megahertz? Are you going to have 4K that you're going to be pushing through to multiple
No,
monitors?
I don't worry about that. Not
Well,
worry
I
about
mean,
4K.
these are those.
I don't
things-
know. I've been doing it. It's kind of like, what are you on a computer so long for?
Right, and
Research.
and you probably are going to need to consider doing liquid cool at some point along the way because you're going to be generating a lot of heat there.
And not only the CPU of the processor, but sometimes the graphic cards have
CPU get hot. Yeah.
too.
Yep. Well, we'll
Yeah,
be
been there.
interested to hear what your build is going to consist of when you get this figured out.
I'll
You
do a
come
thing
to-
on it. Sure.
come to
I'll
a
do a meeting
meeting,
and I'll have a
you
little
could-
PowerPoint on it.
You could just post a little spreadsheet of everything that you're putting in there and why you're doing it. We'd love to spend your money.
Oh, hey, easy come, easy go.
With you.
So anyway, that's what.
Okay, love it, love it. Anyone get anything or buy anything new lately? No. Okay. Well, then I will turn this over to Jerry,
Okay,
and you could do our next presentation for the night.
will do. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to share mode. Okay. Before I go into, as I was trying to figure out what to talk about, I ran across a couple things that APC UG put out. One was that February's identity theft awareness week. And the document that I have put together, I will put in the, I'll give you the file at the end of the presentation. So I'm not going to talk a lot about identity. There are links in here that you can go to. I thought some of them were very, very interesting on what they cover. But I was not going to cover anything, in here. And then also during this week, it's also Data Privacy Day. And I put a link to a video, and I'm hoping that you can get to this PDF file. Let's see if I can, if it'll open up for me. Maybe not. Nope, it won't. I think I gotta put it out there myself.
Jerry, do you have to hold the control key down when you click on it?
I got an idea. It's not really in there.
It's probably not because you stole it out of a.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I did. I'll put it in there. On my PC, I can get it, but not in there, but I will download that. It's a very interesting presentation that they put on. I think the presentation goes along with the video that is up here, up above. Let's see, this was interesting. They have a whole bunch of things that they talk about where they have different videos and everything. I have not gone through this a lot, but I just wanted to put it available in case anyone was interested in it. Okay, let's go on to VLC. Most of us use VLC to just take and play back video. And I found when I started looking at some of these videos, I didn't know you could do so much with them. And it was very intriguing. What I have done is I've given you the video up here. And one of the things that you can do is screen record. And what I have done, I've tried to make it a little simple for you. If you want to try and do it, is take the steps that you have to do a screen record. And let's take and we go up here, select media. Then you can select open capture device. Then change capture mode. I have not worked with this that well, where you could go to a file, you could go to a disk, you can go to a network, you can go to a capture device. And that's what we want to do here is capture the screen. There are a lot of screen captures out there, and you can do it right within VLC. Okay, then under options. Come on, I don't see under options here. We're going to do a desktop. Doesn't show options here. Why not?
It is options, sure is.
Yeah. 1 feet per second. 1 frame per second.
Okay, and I know you changed the frames to whatever frame speed you want. They say 30 frames per second, and you can do show more options on what you want to do. The video takes it, and I've tried to explain step by step what you have to do on these. I have not followed through completely step by step. And again, then you can get down to give a file name and select it. It's not going the way I like. Under the play drop down. And I'm not getting what I want.
To infinity.
Yeah, I know something.
To infinity and beyond.
Hope your eyes are good. You'll need binoculars.
Yeah.
Get my binoculars.
That's a black hole. we're
All
going
I'm
through.
trying to say here is that you can do a screen capture, which makes it fairly easy to do. You got to play with it a little bit.
Jerry, when you do a when you say screen capture, does that mean it gets it basically videotapes or tapes it, records it, your movements and the
Yes.
sound and everything
Yes.
else that's going on?
Yes, yes.
So let me get this straight. If you're running, if we're sitting here right now at this Zoom meeting, you would be able to capture the Zoom meeting without having to go through the record on Zoom. You could
That is
actually
correct.
do it
That is
with.
correct.
Okay,
Or
thank you.
Or if you brought up anything that you had up online, you could record the screen.
Be advised, there is some video content that VLC Player will not be able to capture.
Pardon?
There's
Like
some
what?
there's some video content VLC Player cannot capture due to DRM, rights management.
Yeah. But most of it, I think you would be able to capture.
It's the best software for the purpose I know of, because they can capture codecs that others can't, and they are not bound by the regional restrictions that others are. They operate under French law, which is very liberal about this.
Yeah. But what they're saying is it will capture the desktop. You have to set up, what you want. You can select under the play drop down to convert. You select the codecs that you want. You select browse to select the destination for where you want the output file to go. You give it a file name, you select save, and then you select start to begin the recording. And then you select stop to stop the recording. It seems very simple. I have not played with it because I've used other facilities, but this is something to look at. And that's another reason I'm giving you the video. I kind of copied what the instructions were in the video. Okay, another one is you can record from your webcam. It's basically the same thing, but what you're doing there is you're selecting the webcam and you're basically doing the same thing. You do the device name, you can select the microphone from the webcam, and you've got your own little recorder, and you're doing basically the same thing as you did with the screen recorder. Okay, another option, a screenshot. Say that you've got something in the video that you just want a particular screenshot of. All you do is right click inside the video, move the mouse cursor over the video, select take snapshot, and that's it. Or you can use a shortcut key if you want. So you can get a quick screenshot of something with inside the video. Okay, convert media files. Okay, I've mentioned Format Factory, to convert media files. This will convert any type of file that you want. And it works basically the same thing. You select the media file that you want. You select convert and save. In the pop-up window, you select add. You put in the browse location of the file that you want to convert. You select open. You select convert and save. Choose the file format from the drop-down, whether you want an MP3, an MP4, or a Mac version, or whatever you want. You select browse, select the location of your new file, give it a new file name, select save, and select start, and you're converting the file, just like Format Factory. Record audio, video. Again, basically the same thing. You go in from the menu bar, you select view, select advanced control. The lower left-hand screen, click on the record button. To stop recording, click the record button again. The video is saved to a video folder. Audio is saved to a music folder, depending upon what you want. So you can record audio or video, depending upon what you want. create bookmarks. This is where I think a little bit comes in where Joe's done presentations with YouTube where you take and create a bookmark where you stop the video or something like this. And this is exactly something similar, but you're using it on your own videos. You select a custom, you select manage in a new menu, select create the selection of the video you want to bookmark. Equalizer. This one here is from the menu bar. You select tools, you select effects and filters, and what it does is just like an audio equalizer. You can slide, get more bass or more treble or whatever you want. A little screen comes up with all that information in it. You can add watermarks to pictures or to your videos. And they go through the steps on exactly how to add a watermark. Or you go through, select the effects and filters, select the tab for the video effects, select the overlay, add the logo or the text that you want to add in, select the box to add logo, select browse to find your logo that you want, double click on the logo. The logo appears in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. You can move that logo for wherever you want, and then you can select and save. You also have a density on the watermark, whether you want it to show up real, what I want to say, where it's right there, or if it's just faintly in the background. Audio and video effects. This is a slider to do different effects that you want to your video. You can adjust the brightness, the hue, motion blur, separate the audio and video with subtitles to the video. There's a lot of things that you can do with the video effects. There's a lot of tools in there that you can do.
Can I add something to that?
Go
Jerry?
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been using this thing a lot, and I found that in the audio video effects, when you're watching a movie, a lot of times you find that the mouth movement is there, but the voices, the audio actually isn't right up with the movement of the voice and the mouth aren't together. You can synchronize them yourself.
Uh-huh.
And there's a way you can put in, I usually put in, it's like, you know, maybe, I can't say nanoseconds, but it's off by 6 or 8, something. And there's a way to alter that slightly. And that's in this section right here.
Yeah. I have not used any of these. Like, these are all new to me. And you got to play with them.
Yeah.
Okay. Download videos, stream and download videos. You know, you've got YouTube downloaders and everything like that. Well, you've got a downloader right here within VLC. And it's basically the same thing. You take and copy the URL that you want to download, paste it in the box, and then you can save the video as where it is, select the download folder, enter the name if you want a new one, and then select save to computer, and you've downloaded your the video. It's just like downloading videos from YouTube programs or whatever programs are out there. You don't need a separate program. It's right within VLC. Set as wallpaper. In the menu bar, you can select the video. You can select set as wallpaper. You can, what you're doing, you're taking a snapshot and you're taking and setting the video, whatever you have as wallpaper for your desktop. You can have multiple instances of VLC open at the same time. under the playlist and on instances, you can check a box, use only one instances. When starting from file manager, you select save. Now you can run multiple instances of VLC. You're unchecking the checkbox where you only use one instance, and that's under preferences. So that way you can have two videos up at the same time, side by side. Start VLC in full screen. A lot depends on how you start up VLC. Sometimes it's just maybe half a screen. You can say always start up in full screen. There's a checkbox that will do that, and you will say start up in full screen.
God damn it.
Like I said, you will have all these instructions and the video. Another one, you can do internet, radio, and podcast with VLC. You have to subscribe to an internet, radio, and podcast, but in the left pane, you can select the podcast, and then with the plus sign, enter the podcast URL. You select OK, and to select the podcast, you just add it from the list, and you can listen to the podcast, or you can have your internet radio. Who wants to do a jigsaw puzzle from a video game that you have up there or a video there? You take a snapshot of the effect and you copy it, and now you can do a jigsaw puzzle. You never think you could do something like that. It's crazy. But you can have a lot of fun. Okay, more options. Some of these we've recorded. I've given you another YouTube link here. Record desktop. We've kind of gone through that one a little bit, where you record the desktop. Rip a DVD, where you select the DVD and you can create another DVD, or you can create and save it to, your hard drive.
Question.
Yes.
All right, one of the things I was trying to do when I made that recording of my Zoom Christmas call was to try to burn it to a DVD, and you just can't copy it because it'll set up whatever it is so it'll play. He could use it to read it off his computer and play it in VLC, but to stick it in a DVD player wouldn't work. Will that make that play in a DVD player then?
I would think it will. I haven't tried.
Okay.
I would think it might, because it's saying,
yeah.
You got to make sure to play into a DVD player. You have to convert it from an MP4 to what they call VOBs. I think that's Visual Object Basic or something like that, or binary, Visual Object Binary, which is what format all DVD movies are in.
Yeah.
So you have to convert it. So it's basically
There was no, okay, select, all what they said here is select, convert, and save. You had to do nothing other than that.
right. But I think he's saying to, I guess I might have misunderstood. You can take an MP4 and put it onto a DVD, and some DVD players may play them, but they have to be smart, like almost like a PC to have. In that case, they need something like VLC running. But if you wanted one that's going to run solely into a dedicated DVD player, like one you hook up to your TV, you need to convert it from an MP4 format to a VOB format.
I think I messed up.
Maybe I understood.
But this one here
No. I was using
you have to
image
do
burn.
that.
I was
It's
using
like all
image
you do
burn.
is select the media file, all from the video. All they did was select, convert, and save. Select the DVD, select the disc selections that you want, then select the DVD, select the no disc menu, and select convert and save, and it will burn the DVD. That's my understanding of how it works.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
used
supplied
image
the
burn, I
video,
think.
just in case.
I used image burn to try to just move it over I
think
think
we
I also had,
a
I
little
had,
bit here where you could add subtitles on pictures or videos or whatever you want. You could add subtitles. Sometimes if you go on vacation, you don't remember where they are, you could add the subtitle. And adjust playback speed. Sometimes, you know, something may be going a little too fast, you want to slow it down, or you may want to get the real fast speed. You have an option there to select the speed that you want. And then you can rip a DVD to a computer. The last one I think was to rip a DVD to a DVD. Here you're going to rip a DVD to the computer. And all of them say select no disk menu. They don't want a menu. You select the disk selection, convert and save. You select the codecs that you want, and away you go. Format Factory would do the same thing. And then there was another one here. A lot of them here. This one here, I just went through and did a little thing. Most of them are basically the same thing that we had covered before. They had 15 tricks. This one was 12. This is someone different, but he covered basically the same things. Where convert any media file, play or download online video, record a current playing video or audio, record the desktop, record a webcam, rip a DVD, video and audio effects, add watermarks, take a snapshot, bookmark a video, add subtitles, and adjust playback speeds. Then there was another one that I had here to create a playlist. They didn't talk about a playlist that much. What you can do is you can create a playlist of all the videos that you want or audio files that you want, and you give them a name. And if you want to take and later on play a specific playlist, you just highlight that playlist and it will play everything that you had in that particular playlist. But this one here, rotate image. He had an image that was upside down, and in VLC, you could take and rotate an image 90 degrees, 180 degrees, or whatever. And he mentioned where
Can
we
you
could
flip
add a
the
logo,
image?
and if you want a podcast, you have to subscribe to a podcast.
Jerry, can you flip the image? Like if somebody does a selfie video of themselves or something like that?
There
And
are 6 features that they had. Play and safely download YouTube videos, subscribe to a podcast, listen to an internet radio station, record your desktop, convert video files, and playback videos back in ASC to characters. That one is kind of crazy to look at. But I never realized you could do so much with VLC. And I thought I'd give everyone a chance to see what it could do. And that way you could have a little option to take and play around and see if there's something that you really like, what you might want to do with VLC.
Jerry, is number 6 there like the Matrix?
How many knew that VLC could do all these different things?
I only knew about a
Yes
few
or
of them.
no?
I just knew about a few of them.
Anybody?
Can you hear me, Jerry?
Okay. Let's
Jerry?
continue on.
Jerry, can VLC do
We're going on to a couple of upcoming
Jerry,
things
can you
from
hear us?
Jerry?
APCUG.
Jerry, can you hear
And
us?
I have the registration.
hear.
I think Beata
Jerry?
did put this out to everybody, but I'm just going to take and do a little repeat.
Jerry,
February 13th, which is a couple of weeks from now, is their virtual technology conference. And February 24th, they're going to talk about modems and routers and Wi-Fi. this is a Wednesday workshop. We'll get down to that in just a little bit. For the one coming up on the 13th, they're going to be talking, make an informal decision when buying a 2021 printer. What to look for. How to use the Windows Tips app. I don't know what they're talking about there, what the Tips app is, so it's going to be an interesting one. Then Bob G is going to talk about how to use CCleaner. I was almost thinking about throwing a little bit of CCleaner in there for tonight, because there's one option that I really like, and that's when you take and clean out your cookies. Where most of the software that you get when you want to clean the cookies, it wipes them all out. But there are some you do not want to wipe. And CCleaner will allow you not to wipe those out. How to set up a free blog. I don't know if anyone's interested in that. How to play on online board games. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to get some gamers in on this one. And how to use some of the new changes that have come about in the new iOS 14. So that's coming up on the VTC on a Saturday afternoon. On 2/24, this is at 11 o'clock Chicago time. They're going to be talking about modem, routers, and Wi-Fi, and you've got the registration here. And it closes on the 23rd, usually the day before. And these have been, Bill James has been doing a real nice job on putting presentations. He's given one on Windows 10. He did a 3-session on Windows 10. And he gave a 5-session on home automation. And this is new on routers. I don't know if it's just going to be one workshop or if there will be more than one. But I'm trying to bring you up on what's going on, not only in CCS, but on APC-UG. And a lot of those sessions are very interesting. If you attend them, you will get the video and a PDF within a couple of weeks. And then later on, they will post the video up on the APC-UG website. But that goes up probably a couple months later. But everyone who attends the meeting will get the video of the session and the PDF of the presentation. Anybody have any questions from what I have covered?
Jerry.
I tried to make everyone aware of a lot of new things that you can do with VLC, which I didn't know you could do.
Can you hear us, Jerry?
Very interesting.
Jerry, can you hear us now?
Jerry. Oh, Jerry.
Hello, Jerry.
Jerry, I wanted to see one of those presentations you
Go
mentioned.
ahead, Tom.
Missed where you said I could listen to it.
Speak.
Can you hear me?
Jerry, you're not hearing us.
Can you hear us, Jerry?
Anybody. Are you muted?
No.
Okay, I'm unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Jerry?
Why don't I hear anybody?
I'm
Can
talking.
you hear
Can
us?
you hear
We
me?
hear you.
You got, no, you're not hearing anybody. Let's see.
Look at your chat. Look at your chat, Jerry.
My plug was loose. My plug
Can you
was
hear
Can
us,
you hear us
Jerry?
now?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay.
Hip hooray. Big deal.
Yeah.
So there were some questions
Nice
about
play,
that
Jerry.
VLC. There were some
Yes.
questions about VLC Player. Did
Okay,
anybody remember the questions?
Jerry, can you
Yeah.
flip? Can you flip the video when you're recording it? Can you flip it vertically or horizontally, like if you're doing a selfie or something, and you want to flip it so that any text or whatever is flipped so that it'll read properly?
Now, are you saying, now, keep in mind, you're saying that it might be backwards?
Yeah, in other words, just like when you take a selfie of yourself,
A mirror picture.
if you're wearing a T-shirt or something that has text on it, it shows up backwards. Well, if you're doing a video, the same thing would happen if you're doing a selfie.
Well, I know you can
But
correct that. I know.
Okay, but with text editors, with a text editor, with a photo editor, you can flip that image horizontally and make it read the proper way. Can you do the same thing with the VLC?
It's called mirroring. It's a mirror image. And even Zoom has it built into it.
Yeah, but can it be done with VLC that you can flip it? I know that Zoom has it built in, but does VLC have it so that when you have a recorded image, can you flip it and edit it?
Let me see where that was.
Short answer, yes, you can. I'm posting now.
Short question, how?
I just posted.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Bob.
What did you go into, Bob?
How to rotate and flip a video in VLC Media Player. There's a link.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, Bob.
I know there's a lot of things that you can do there, and I was looking where I had it in my instructions to rotate.
Somebody has a really noisy mic.
Somebody just turned it off.
Yeah, whoever just whoever just muted themselves, their mic was noisy.
Are you going to email us the file, Jerry?
Yes. No, I'm going to put it in the chat box.
Yeah, we're going to post a chat. Okay. Well, I guess we've reestablished communication.
Yeah, I may have pulled me out, and I didn't realize that was the case. Let me go here.
You got it easy, Jerry. On my headset, all I've got to do is hit one little button, and I can't talk, which is maybe a good thing.
Well, I'll tell you something with VLC. I thought it was fantastic, and that was when you could synchronize the audio and the video, because that was watching a couple of movies and it was driving me nuts when the mouth would move, but the voice had to catch up with it.
Yeah, you can change the sync.
Yes, you can change the sync, and you couldn't do it with sync. You had to go in and change either audio or video by a number of, in my case it was 6 or 7 that you had to change one or the other, and it was perfect. But it was driving me nuts watching a few movies trying to figure out how can I get around this, and I found it.
It's really bad when it's about a half-second delay.
Yeah, that's about all it was. And I don't know what the 6 did. It wasn't a whole 6 seconds, but I don't care.
It's in the chat box right now.
Okay. Not yet.
It's in mine.
Not mine.
Well,
you may have to open it and close it, and then it may come.
Nope, not present.
Nope, not here.
Well, I opened up the chat box. What am I looking for?
May have to try again.
Yeah, make sure it's to everybody.
It
Well,
says 15 cool VLC features. It's a PDF file.
Are you sending it to everyone?
I thought I did. Hold
Well,
on.
it sounded like only one person got it and everybody.
Okay, maybe I did, maybe I did. Hold on. I'll go back. Let's try it this time.
Got it.
There it is.
They're in there now.
It's here now.
Okay.
Okay. Topics for upcoming months. What should we talk about? You know, I grabbed this out of the blue and I thought it was very interesting.
Okay.
You got something, Harry?
I got a question. Maybe it might lead to another subject.
Okay, go ahead.
Windows 10 is got an addition that they put in within the last couple of updates for ransomware. Has anybody turned it on to see how it works or how it works?
No.
Where's it?
Is that Windows Defender or what?
No, it's a whole different thing. If you go into settings, you kind of got to look through security and that, and you'll find that there's a place where you can turn on a ransomware feature. And right now it comes, it's default as off. You have to turn it on and then figure out how to use it. I haven't done it. I just saw, I noticed some meeting the other day, somebody mentioned something about it, or I heard somebody else talk about it, and I looked it up, and I found it, but I didn't have time to mess with it, so I didn't turn it on to see how much it was going to screw things up.
Okay, Harry, what the deal is it's called Windows Protected Folders or Protected Access. And it prevents programs from having automatic access to certain critical system folders. It's an anti-ransomware feature. It is tied with the Windows Firewall and Windows Defender, but it's not specifically part of either one. And it can be very useful, but it sometimes will cause problems. I've had a number of programs that were blocked from operating or blocked from fully installing because they didn't have access to system folders. So if you have stuff that needs to be updated, if you have stuff that needs to install, you may have to temporarily turn that feature off, restart the machine, and then do whatever you want to do, and then turn it back on.
Yeah, that was one of the things that was mentioned on this program that I saw it on. The guy mentioned that if you need to be attentive to it because it may cause changes that you have to override. So
it may block changes that you want.
Yeah. Okay.
Windows updates won't be blocked, but third-party programs will in some cases.
What was the reference to that again? Windows
Protected folders or protected access. It's also known as anti-ransomware or ransomware protection.
Right.
And that function it does do.
Where would it be found?
It's in the security, it's in settings, security. Let me find it.
Update and security. Then
Yeah,
what?
update and security and Windows security. Let me see if it's in the virus and threat protection.
Yeah, I don't think it was under.
It is virus and threat protection, ransomware protection, manage ransomware protection. Then you have controlled folder access.
Okay.
So it's ransomware protection, controlled folder access. That's what they call it. And those controlled folders tend to be your system folders.
How did you get there, Bob?
So, either the search box or all settings, update and security,
Okay, that's what I was curious about. Okay,
And then Windows security?
and Windows security,
yeah,
or you just hit the security icon on your tray area,
yeah,
virus and threat protection. So they're packaging it as part of Windows Defender. And then you scroll down a little bit and about, the fourth item is ransomware protection.
yeah.
It has a square icon with an X in the middle. And manage ransomware protection, that little link. And then you can switch on controlled folder access. And you might also want to see about setting up ransomware data recovery, which works through your Microsoft Cloud account.
It says set up OneDrive for file recovery.
Yeah. You may want to do that with some files you really, really need to be able to recover. It's another line of defense. And like I say, you may have some utility programs that'll go nuts over this thing.
This is in the Windows Defender?
It's part of Windows Security, Windows Defender,
Okay,
the Security Shield.
Just put ransomware in your search box and it'll probably take you right to the right area.
Under that, there's an app and browser control where it talks about reputation-based protection, isolated browsing, and exploit protection. That's not it.
Yeah, you could do that if you like. That's going to limit where you can go in on the internet in Chromium-based Edge and Old Edge.
It'll also give you a whole bunch of pop-ups. I mean, notification about apps and browsers.
Yeah, it's similar to the smart screen filter. It can be a little strict for some people. It can be beautiful for others. Depends on what you do.
Okay, thank you.
Personally, I rely on my own judgment, but sometimes that's not the wisest thing.
well, right now I have to say that I don't even use it. I have WebRoot Secure Anywhere.
Yeah.
And I am looking at the Windows Defender antivirus option is currently turned off.
That is what should happen with most third-party antivirus.
Yeah,
It will take the place of Windows Defender, which means Windows Defender is no longer updating itself.
right. That explains why I couldn't find it easily.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it may also mean that Windows Defender cannot apply the controlled folder, controlled access ransomware protection. That would have to be provided by your web root.
Correct. I understand that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions?
Good for now.
We're good, huh?
It looks that way.
Yep.
But I still haven't gotten an answer for upcoming meetings, what to talk about.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Earlier, part of the things was where to go look at a presentation on how to select a printer in 2021, but I missed noting where where I go listen to that, or,
That was an APCUG presentation.
and what is the link? How do I go?
It's in the document that I sent you. That's in the chat box.
Okay, I looked in the chat box and I saw a list of CCS presentation 09 PDF. Is that?
I back up a little bit and you'll see 15 cool VLC features.
Sure, and I saw that, and is that?
That's the one. That's the presentation that I did.
Sure, but I thought you referred to something that's going to happen at 2 p.m. Saturday of how to select a printer.
That's in 2 weeks. In
Okay.
2 weeks.
And that'll be at a CCS?
That will be in that document. And the registration will be in there to register
Information's
for that
down near
session.
the end of the document.
Association of PC User Groups, been around.
It's
for
all
a
the way
while.
at the end of the document.
Okay.
That's a quarterly presentation they do on a Saturday of about 5 or more topics. And you select which ones you want to attend, but you have to pre-register.
Okay.
You have to identify yourself if you are part of CCS.
Okay, and what will the date be? 2 weeks from Saturday?
2/12.
13.
2/13. Is it the 13th?
2/13, 2 p.m. And I will look in here. I scanned through the PDFs and I didn't see any. I missed it somehow.
It's all the way at the bottom.
Of iWatch PNG?
I put that on there. I just went to the APCUG.
APCUG2.org, and it's up there too.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking.
UP2.
UG.
Dude.
APCUG.org.
No, 2.
APCG2.org.
APC,
Reddit.
APC2.
No, APCUG2.org.
G2.org. Okay. Very good. Thanks so much for indulging me.
Hey, I got here kind of late today. I'm going to show you guys something. I don't know if you're interested or not.
Jerry, check your chat.
I got this power strip from Menards for $3. Got 2 always on outlets, 5 switch controlled, which I really like. It was $3, I think. So if you're interested. I also got a battery pack for charging my phone. Kind of cool. We give you a light with it if you want it. And then if you take that out, it also has a flashlight.
Is that Menards too?
Yeah, no, this was at actually at Walmart for $10. Now, the advertisement didn't advertise this little light with it, but it came with it and said, "Welcome to the gift." So I don't know if you'll get this or not if you order it, but this was only $10. It's 10,000 milliamps. What is it? Yeah, 10,000 milliamp hours. So you get 3 charges on your phone. It's really nice. I like it. Got a power light on it too, which is switched off. If anybody's interested in a printer, there's a printer here. My daughter's. As far as I know, it works. I haven't tried it. It worked when she had it. The only thing about it is it has the tricolor cartridge, not a single cartridge colors. If anybody wanted it, you can have it. Otherwise, I'm just put it recycle.
On the subject of cell phone charging battery packs, I should turn off my background. I got 2 different kinds here. These are actually hand warmers that double as battery chargers.
Right.
So these are great. My God, I got one of the small one, bought one of these, and my wife stole it from me immediately within a minute. So I had to go get a second one. They're pretty good, and I really enjoyed. You know, we all get cold hands out there in the winter, so this works dynamite. They really do work good.
What do those cost, Sanford?
You get them for about $20 on Amazon. Just watch for the deals. And this one here, this one I think is like 5,500 milliamps. This one, perfect size for the hand. This one is a little bigger. It's 7,500 milliamps. And they have kinds. Some of them have flashlights in them and other stuff, but you know, make sure you check out the reviews on them, because there's some crap ones out there and there's some good ones. Whatever one you get, make sure it's got a good return policy, as Amazon usually does. So I've not had any problems with these, even though comments in there were that you know, they died or didn't hold their charge. I've not had that kind of problems whatsoever. But I've only had these for about a month now.
Do they fit in your glove, or you just hold them?
If you got a bulky glove, absolutely. And get this little guy gets really hot on the low setting. So really good to have in your pockets. I'm telling you, I love this stuff.
I had it a few years ago when I went snowmobiling up in northern Wisconsin when it was 20, 30 below. You got to have that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Chemical ones are all right.
The chemical ones work, but you know, this works really good.
The other one was the dependable Jono hand warmer that you put lighter fluid in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It cooked for about 6 hours. That's nice.
These charge up with USB and they're done, you know, and they start up really fast and get warm really fast. So good thing to have in your pocket.
When it's warming, how many hours will it go?
You know, the different ones. This one I think was like 5 hours, 5 to 8. And this one is like, I don't know. You know what? I'm pulling off of my memory and I've not tested them all.
Okay.
Because you've got 3 different power settings on them. And the little one, I'm sure we can get at least 5 hours out of this guy, the little orange one. This one probably at least 8.
Yeah.
8 hours. And then they've got some that will last, that are 10,000 milliamps. Those could last you 15 hours or more. You know, you could see what they were rated for and what people say they actually got out of them.
Okay.
But I get cold hands, so this works great.
Yeah.
And Jerry,
Yeah.
I sent you a chat. Can you just read that chat for yourself? And I've got to depart. I have to go outside and start shoveling before everything freezes up. So
me too.
And it's getting 24 degrees. It's already gone down 3 degrees while I've been in here.
23.
So Jerry, I'll leave this up and running.
I'm looking, I'm trying to find it. I'm not finding it.
Basically, Jerry, I said, I'm running out. I'll leave these
Okay.
meeting up and running and I'll shut it down when I come back in.
Well, hopefully I could probably shut it down.
Yeah. Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Take
Bye.
care.
Hey, take care. Keep warm.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, temperature outside here, when we started the meeting was 30 degrees. It's down to 22.
Okay, that told it to me. I'm gonna go out, and I don't have a big drive, but
I will too.
good talk, guys. Enjoyed it tonight.
Take care, John.
Yep.
Right, take
was
care.
good.
Take care, John.
Good meeting. Have fun. See you in a couple months, next month
Yeah.
or before.
Everybody stay safe and sound.
Yep. Sorry I was late, Jerry. I was on another Zoom meeting.
That's okay. I gotta do a stop.